Daddy long that guy. And shout out to Real Life Crew.
Hey, you're one of 12 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
Yeah, you know what? To define that better, I think the key there is... Daryl Cat. I just lost my train of thought.
Episode 130, Nation Real Life. Tyler Yaremchuk in studio with Wanye, Jay, Baggedmilk. Got all the names right this time. No Chalmers, no guest either. We thought for a bit that maybe we would have a guest in this week. Not this week, but I got like a handful ready to go for the next sort of month-ish. A couple of good commitments. Hockey players are gone. They're at their cottages for July. They're busy. They're gone fishing, things like that.
Well, you got fishing. You got catfish, son, on our guest today.
Yeah, catfished. We're even talking to an NHL player. Or you've been tricked by a bot.
It's probably Chalmers with a wig pretending to be an NHL player.
You also go with cottage too.
Yeah, that's very East Coast. That's very Eastern
Well, that's
Canadian.
because hockey players are, Ontario boys and all that. So
Whoa.
Is cottage an East Coast word?
Oh, yes.
What do we call it
We
out
call
here?
them cabins. And it's also called a roof, not a rough, or a boot, a boat.
Okay, so they're at the cabin or
Poutine, not
cottage.
putzin. Putzin?
So they're at the cabin.
But next week, we're hoping we'll have someone lined up within the next 2 weeks for sure. A couple other, a former Oiler, two former Oilers mixed in August that we'll have on. So
boy, howdy.
we got a bit of a guest list going here. We're going to crank it up. More than 12 listeners,
Good stuff. Well, we should talk about that. I'd like to talk about that just a little bit today to get off to a good start. Baggedmilk, we were looking earlier. We have the download numbers here for March, April, May, June, and a bit of July. Thank you for putting that together, Yaremchuk, for the Oilers Nation Radio and for Real Life. And it is an interesting thing to look at. Growing. We're over 12 listeners, but we'll never, our first 12 are the most important. After that, everybody's just a hanger on.
It's a bot.
It's a bot. It's a bot. What do you think when you're looking at this? So we're doing like an annual review of the Nation. We're looking at everything we've done in the last 12 months. It's the off season. And like when you're looking going forward, Baggedmilk, at two shows. We have Oilers Nation Radio, which is available on all the same platforms. It comes out on Friday. And then we've got Nation Radio, Real Life, name of the old podcast, which comes out generally on a Monday or Tuesday. What's your vision for these two types of shows going forward? What are they going to be like?
Well, I think this one, Real Life, is fun to have legitimate conversations with people. I think about when we had Ladislav Schmid in and he was talking about the coming up, whereas ON Radio is specifically Oilers talk. We recap the week. We look at what's coming ahead. We're going to preview games in season. We're going to do all that shit that you want from an Oilers-specific podcast, where this one is a little bit different in the sense that we can go pretty much anywhere.
Well, it's really what the names imply, right? That is a real life. Oilers Nation Radio is more or less like a 1 hour radio show about the Oilers, right?
Do you agree?
Yeah,
staring at me.
I didn't want to talk over everybody, but yeah, no, I do agree. I think that it's going to be really important. It's one thing to say, we intend to go out and get a long list of guests, and that requires some tricks. Whether we're trying to get like active Oilers, which requires one set of protocols to be followed, former Oilers, former NHL players, people who are just interesting to talk to. Who's the chap who came down, the sports psychologist?
Yeah, he was great.
Amazing,
Dr. Hansen.
Right? He had a sports psychologist, explained to us like basking in reflective glory. That was like interesting.
And remember he made a prediction or an observation about who should be the winger with Connor McDavid.
Cassian.
And how the season ended. Yeah, he nailed it.
He said he just needed that opportunity.
He wants to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll bring him back because he's got some new takes because he's got another year of data under his belt.
When I think about Nation Real Life going forward, I think about, like you said, Yaremchuk, being like largely driven off of guests, and it's hard to do. And one of the reasons we're so happy that you've joined the team is that you have access to like a completely different little black book of people than we do, but also the ability, like you're not afraid to like reach out to people, be like, hey, I insist that you come on this show, which I think for a lot of people is just like, that's scary. I don't want to figure out where Dean McCammond is and try and get in touch with him, or I think like you have the chops to do it.
Yeah, I should find out where Dean McCammond is.
I'd love to know where Dean McCammond is.
Yeah, I mean, the worst someone's ever going to say to you is no, or not text you back, or take like a month to reply. But like, Either
Or
way,
catfish
right?
you.
Or catfish me.
Pretend to come on a show, but probably not even be a real person.
We're going to think we have an ex-NHLer or current NHLer, I should say, coming on next week, and it's just going to be like some random
Yeah, it's just
shows
me
up.
texting you.
It's I am bikes again.
Yeah. Damn it.
Bugger, you got us again.
I would love to talk just as much to former Oilers as I would current Oilers. I think the experience of having worn the copper and blue or the blue and orange or the whatever the hell colors it was when you went through, that's very interesting to me. And there's no end to old Oilers stories that I would want to listen to.
Well, and especially like from the story side, because it's also like an education piece, because we've got, you know, our listeners, all 12, and readers of the site, which is more than 12. You know, the age varies. So it's good to educate the young about the cool stories of the past. And also just bring up some stories from the past that happened during like our generation when we were kids, seeing what's going on, because we just saw what was happening on the ice and knew nothing behind the scenes. So it's super cool. Makes them relevant.
I think like the statute of limitations on a lot of those secrets too have run out.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not like, one time Marty McSoy and I were at Grand Central Station and we bought a tray of Bahama Mamas. Like, it doesn't matter anymore, right? Like, everybody, you know, I think a lot of players, rightfully so, especially in the social media age, are really like protective of their private lives. And I get that. But I don't think we want to necessarily be like intrusive and like asking you a bunch of awkward shit. But we do want to hear the stories with the boys having a laugh about whatever the hell you found was funny. Like the Smead show, Baggedmilk, I thought was a great show.
When he talks about the day he got traded, where he was like in a bar and Brian Burke was like, it's pretty loud in there. And Schmeed's like, yeah, because it's like 10 o'clock at night and I'm like drunk. No
He's
kidding.
like, I told the bar to be quiet.
Yeah.
Be quiet, everybody.
Like, yeah, I love those kinds of stories. I think all fans of, even if you're not like a diehard Oilers fan, like I would listen to a podcast where they talk to a guy who played 3 games as an Oiler or someone who played 12 seasons with the Flames, right? Like, it doesn't really matter who they played for. You just want to get kind of that insight. You want to get to know them better.
And we're, you know, working towards our 10,000 hours principle of you get good at something if you do over 10,000 hours. And that means we have to keep podcasting until the year 4100. But a lot of our shows in the first 100 and what are we at right now?
130.
Yeah. So, you know, we're getting those 10,000 hour principle underneath our belt. We're only at 130, but it's getting a feel for talking amongst ourselves, how to pronounce properly, how to not have plosives, how for me to put my head at the mic, how for Jada to put his hands down when he's talking. But I think we're largely getting there. And we're at the point of the show's arc where we're starting to interview people who are the type of people we would like to interview. And I think we've done a good job. You know, when I look at the numbers on an interview with a guy like Schmeed, and like 18,000 people listen to the first half. That to me is amazing. That's like Ladislav Schmeed fans. It's not about us. That's Ladislav Schmeed fans wanting to know how Ladislav Schmeed's doing. And if we're the conduit to give people like a refresher on players or updates on how they're doing or wherever they're at, I think that's a really cool show.
Yeah, the thing that was great about that one is it was just a genuine conversation. It wasn't the, you know, you can listen to a Ladislav Schmeed interview anywhere and have them ask the same 10 questions. Mm-hmm. That wasn't like that. That
is one of the questions Chalmers or someone like Chalmers lecturing Schmeed about a minor hockey tournament he was in Czech and telling Schmeed that he probably sucked if he didn't play in the tournament?
If there's one thing in the process of 10,000 hours when you have a guest is you have to make it about yourself.
Absolutely.
You have to.
I think that's so funny, though. Like, the funniest thing about... I think Chalmers on the show, and he's not here, and he'll never listen, so that's fine. I think he's been a great addition.
Because it's been funny.
He makes it about himself. And I think it's just classic. Like, when he interrupted Davidson talking about to tell us about the Nuge.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, the Nuge has racehorses, Wanye. In fact, I roomed with him on the road for years. Here's what I'm about to tell you. And then Chalmers interrupts him to tell him how his uncle has racehorses. That is amazing content and frustrating for the listener and hilarious for us, right? Because you're like, I don't care about Chalmers, a guy I don't know's uncle having racehorses, but the fact that he has the brass to make it about himself is funny.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, he definitely adds an element to the show, which I think is going to, because of his approach.
He's a wild card.
He's a wild, but it's good. It's good. It's going to bring some good, like, infighting in the set, and it'll start building a show within the show, which I think is going to be hilarious, because we need, like, when he does that, like, we immediately jump on him, call him out, and he's just like, I think he was super nervous too, so I think he had like 6 Ryan Cokes or something before the interview, so he was so nervous. So of course he's going to jump on a horse riding rant about his uncle, So he brings that dynamic. So I think one thing we need to focus on and hone in on is like, we have to keep him in line, and part of that will be like, that'll be funny shit when we do that, because Chalmers would have done something crazy, which is what we want him to do, and then some crazy hilarious argument will blast out and 10 minutes have gone by.
He dominates the conversation too, which I think is like hilarious, and I respect it. Right? Like when you go back and listen to older episodes, and Chalmers just keeps like cutting in and talking, and you do it too, Yaremchuk. I think that's great. Right? Like this should be like a dog pile of ideas and shit you want to say, and people talking over each other, because that's how people sit and talk in real life.
Yeah.
Like the show, real life, right? And so like you've been an awesome addition to the show, and I think that Chalmers has too. Chalmers takes it very seriously. The other night we had a phone call about the show, and he was like, you got to listen to this podcast, you got to listen to this podcast. I'm like, Chalmers, I'm not doing any of that shit. Fuck you. You listen to those podcasts and distill them down for me. And he said that I can't remember the names of who he's talking about, so I don't really care, but there is like a bunch of podcasts now that are getting really big where people talk to people about shit you wouldn't expect them to talk to them about. So they have an athlete on the show, and they somehow fall down a rabbit hole of music, and they just talk about music the entire time, and people get to the end, they're like, well, you didn't even ask that NFL player about whatever the fuck it was. And Chalmers is like, that is interesting. That's the kind of shit that we need to do. And I think he has the right idea.
Oh no, 100%. I think it's just obviously a little bit about their craft, but it's more about the person.
How hard is it, Yaremchuk, to get like, I don't want to, with no disrespect to AM radio guys, 12, 16, 630 are rad, but they have like their usual suspects of people that are like well ingrained in the radio for the right reasons. They're good guests and they talk well. I would like to try to avoid the people you can hear on the radio who have already quote unquote made it and they're regular guests, and get new voices talking.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is the podcast and the AM radio scene, especially in sports, like having my foot in both. It's completely different because the podcast thing is once a week. The radio thing, like all of our listeners, or I shouldn't say all, 85 to 90% of our listeners are people at work.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they really like that. It's not repetitiveness is maybe a bad word, but the regularity of it.
Yeah, it's like a known world of characters, right? And no
like,
disrespect to like, what's the fitness guy, Crushall or whatever?
Jeff Crushall,
yeah. Great.
I love Crusher.
Amazing. But like, he's already on the radio a whole bunch and has said his piece kind of in my mind. Yeah. How hard is it to go out and get the non-usual suspects?
It's really hard, especially just because like athletes especially are like this. And like I'm having that right now with the podcast too. They're naturally skeptical of media. Because obviously media and sports media too has a bad reputation of taking things and making them scandals, overblowing them. You feed it to the fans who are obsessive, and the fans spin it a certain way. So I think a lot of times people are just kind of a little bit skeptical that they're going to come do a podcast or a radio show or anything and just be like put on the spot and grilled and be expected to like have all these stories and takes that are going to like blow people's minds when they're maybe like not totally comfortable doing that. And I think that's part of the art and why I think real life could work, in the sense of like getting these athletes on and just let them know like, hey man, we're not here so that you rat on that one teammate who like got put on waivers because he did a bunch of blow one night, right? Like shit like
that. What are you talking about, Yaremchuk? I'm obsessive and want to know every detail.
Right? But like, I think just trying to get them in and like, hey, no, we want to talk about like this dope ass charity event you do, this, what kind of music you're into, what did you do when you were a player to like completely unplug from hockey? Tell us the funny story of when you got sent on waivers and had to ride the bus in Birmingham for 6 months and how terrible that was. Like, I think that's the type of angle fans want. I don't think they necessarily want to hear about like, yeah, this one time me and star player X got railed in a like, right? Like no one wants
railed.
Yeah.
Who's the star player? I'm obsessive and want to know.
Wow. I think controversial.
I'm picturing some kind of pig roast situation that I don't know.
Yeah,
Bio
I
stuff.
took that a bad way.
Bio stuff is still interesting too. Like,
Yeah.
I like to know about the come up. I like to talk about minor hockey.
The struggle.
The feel good stuff of all of it, right?
Context. I want to know. I think that like we talked about this with the Nuge, right? How many years has the Nuge been in Edmonton now?
He's 9 years now. He's going
He
on.
was drafted in 11.
2011.
So it'd be
yeah.
8 or 9.
Oh my God, it's 9th year. So Baggedmilk, since the Nuge came into the league, could you argue that Jay is one of his more voracious fans? And Jay, would you agree that Baggedmilk is a very good Nuge fan as well?
Well, first of all, he didn't acknowledge that I was a good fan.
Of course you are.
Oh,
So it's a race
thank you.
between Jay and I.
I know you have the Nuge jersey. I respect it.
Okay, that was the very first Oilers jersey I ever purchased with my own money.
Nuge is my only Oilers jersey. Go ahead.
Okay.
And it's the only one I wear to the ODR because that's how I want to be.
With the exception of the racehorses and the story about how he had a hard time in the come up and couldn't play hockey for a year, because of funds and writing a check back to his old club later on when he got ballin', and the fact he's getting married, which we can talk about in a minute, what else do you know about the Nuge's bio?
Zero.
He's a Fort Knox of information in the sense of no one's ever gotten inside and extracted the story of the Nuge.
All I know is that nobody's ever said a bad word about him ever.
And I would love to have him in this room. I don't know how I would act, but
Probably like I did when I talked to Eberly.
Oh.
I swallowed my tongue.
like I'd have to try to suppress the inner fanboy and actually have a real conversation with him. But I would love to know more about him. I've heard rumblings of him. I know his hairdresser or hair style, whatever, like the guy he goes to get his hair cut by, and says nothing but great things about him. But like, I don't know if I think they're kind of more transactional conversations. I don't know if he's had a chance to
I
dive
bet he
deep.
tips very well.
But for a guy that's been with the team for 9 years, endured the pain that he's endured in the rotating door of coaches and GMs, like people need to know more of this guy, because like we love this guy and we'll really love him. I know if we know more about him, and that's what's being kept away from us.
So I think it'd be great to do an interview with Nuge, and then as an aside, do like a 5-10 minute Vice style mini bio video on him.
I would like to interview him on horseback.
Oh, that'd be really nice, riding through the river valley on horseback with
Listening
Nuge.
to Old Town Road?
Cotton Eye Joe.
Okay.
I saw you taking heat for that on Twitter the other day.
I take heat on Twitter for two things nonstop: Cotton Eye Joe and being a Undercover Flames fan, allegedly.
I am with you for Cotton Eye Joe coming back. I just think it needs a remix.
Oh, no, but that's what it should be.
I bet you Cotton Eye Joe and Old Town Road could be mixed together.
Oh, of course. But that's the thing. Like, and it was your idea to remix Cotton Eye Joe and make it the goals. But like, let's own it. I know it's a terrible song, but like, who
It's a
cares?
great song. It
Fantastic
reminds me of being at Oilers games.
Absolutely.
Well, but it's because
I love Cotton Eye
It
Joe.
is. It is deeply rooted to Oilers games because the Oilers made the mistake / genius idea of continually to play it nonstop, way past its expiration date.
Sometimes
so let's
multiple
own it.
times.
Yes.
I think that's funny. If like that'll get people talking about the Oilers from outside markets, being like, "Did you hear their goal song? Like, was that Cotton Eye Joe I just heard?" Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but Marshmallow remixed it.
Yeah.
Somebody relevant.
It'd be great. It'd be fantastic.
All right, we'll dig into a little bit more Oilers talk in a second. We got to step aside and hear from our good friends at Japa.
Have you got holes to dig, earth to pack, and roads to build? Then you need to call Japa Machinery Group. Does your equipment need a service? You can't fix stupid, but here at Japa Machinery Group, we can fix everything else. With a full range of parts to keep your equipment running smoothly. Japa Machinery Group is a family-operated and Alberta-grown business. Here to help build a bigger and better Western Canada. Give us a call or visit us at japamachinery.com. Japa Machinery Group. Join the family.
Big thanks to our good friends at Japa. As always, welcome back. Episode 130 of Nation Real Life. Jay, Baggedmilk, Wanye, I'm Tyler Yaremchuk, all sitting in the Little Brick studio, and during the commercial break, everyone talked about the Nuge.
His body specifically, Yaremchuk, as I know you enjoy when we go into player body types.
Yeah, you're real uptight.
Come on, guys.
This is right up your alley.
9 years the Nuge has been an Oiler.
9 years. So I was saying, when you look at him, do you see a pro athlete?
Yes, man, he's thick. The Nuge must be up to 12 mustache hairs now.
Compared to when he first got here, no doubt. His neck is thick as his head these days.
His mustache is 1,200% as thick as it was when he arrived.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's easy for him to achieve. And his ear hair is going to outgrow his face hair here in no time. But one thing, I don't see enough of him outside of his equipment. I've seen him at like some charity events, but he's in a suit. But like, I bet you if you saw him in a polo and shorts and flip-flops, you could tell by his body he is some kind of hockey player.
I saw a picture of him today on his soon-to-be wife's Instagram, and he's looking fit as fuck.
Are you forgetting when him and Eberly went to Vegas and wore those Cirque du Soleil spandexes
Absolutely.
and I became a woman that night?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was the new. So see, the Nuge has got a wild side we need to talk about.
Of course he does. He was wearing them spandex joints. They were hot.
Well, hey, shout out, congrats to the Nuge. He's getting married today, right away. Any moment, maybe he just did.
Another thing we didn't know about him.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Nuge.
Mmr. and Mrs.
Long-time
Nugent-Hopkins.
girlfriend.
Did
Long
she take
time
both
girlfriend.
last names? You'd think so, right? Or did she
Well,
pick a side?
I just think you go Nuge.
She's going to make her pick a side.
Yeah. Decide who you like more, my stepdad or my mom.
I like it. I don't know.
Our friend at ATB asked for 8 Keep Nuge Forever shirts to send to Nuge for him and his best groomsman.
For real.
Yeah, so
See, he's good with that kind of stuff. He's in there. He's sending stag gifts and
John
shit.
Winwick at ATB is honestly one of the best humans in the world, and he thinks about everyone else and wants to help them whenever he can make a connection for anything.
He was the guy who let me talk to Mrs. Everly. Yeah. Wow. His mom, Jordan's mom, not wife.
Yeah, he's the one who invited me to Vegas with Flamesgate. But and then went to my defense on Twitter, and then everyone started calling him my burner account. It was great. Johnny's about late 40s, early 50s.
Happy to be in a war.
Next morning because I'd stayed out late. I'm getting flamed up on Twitter, and oh wow, terrible pun. And then Johnny steps in when he goes to his room, and then he gets lit up getting called burner account. And then the next morning, he comes to me. We're going golf, and he's like, Jay, what's a burner account? I'm like, oh, Johnny. I'm like, this is what they think. He's like, why would they think that? He's like, I'm trying to like, John, I know Johnny from playing hockey. And he's like, I'm trying to back check for you, Jay. And I'm like, thanks, Johnny. But anyways, yeah. So Johnny sent those shirts. So if by any chance a photo of that comes out of that wedding with a shirt being worn, I will just
With all the
worship the
bridesmaids,
ground.
all the bridesmaids wearing them.
That'd be
make
great.
sense?
We've got a T-shirt somewhere that's all Oilers. We hosted all the Oilers wives at. We're working the kind of back angles to try to get to some player access, and we host the wives for like a private dinner at Little Brick. And then we.
I didn't even think that was for player access. That's just to be nice.
Well, but it was to player access in the sense of
We're not scary.
to show that we're actually on their side. Is what I should
Fair,
say.
fair,
Sorry, it was the long game for
Yes,
player
the
access.
long game.
We're trying to show that we're a trusted, safe place that serves a delicious breakfast sandwich Monday to Sunday.
Delicious beef sandwich as well.
Oh, the brisket.
Oh, the
yeah.
brisket. Whew.
Brisket is legit.
Looking at that shirt, though, I wonder, like, is Mrs. Nugent-Hopkins the only one still here from that shirt?
Oh, yeah, we'll have to go. There's some hilarious names on
There's
there
some
when
funny
you go
names
back
on
and
there.
look. We'll have to bring up the shirt and maybe post it. It's somewhere. It's a Hope Will Never Die tee. All the wives signed it. Yeah, there's some funny last names on there.
Interesting last names on there, no doubt. Do you have any, on his day of his nuptials, do you have any advice for young Ryan Nugent-Hopkins as he embarks on the next stage of his life?
It's more of a request.
Go ahead.
I just want him to know that Edmonton loves you and has got your back, and you've got a understanding and loving wife, and staying here on your next contract is probably a good idea. Connor will be here. I will be here. Baggedmilk will also be here.
Always.
We got your back. And just come back. We're going to have some stability for you. And that stability within the organization is going to provide you stability in your marriage.
I bet you he goes through way less wives than he did coaches. But in
Nice.
probably only one wife.
Probably.
Nuge is
If there's anything we
for
know
life.
is that he's loyal.
It's his lobster.
Yeah,
he's loyal to the cause.
Yeah, Nuge is loyal. He's got his lobster. He's got the lobster claws going, so he's locked in.
Nice Friends reference. They're pulling that off Netflix, by the way.
Why?
Oh, because they're probably going somewhere else for Big Smoke.
Yeah, I assume NBC is going to have their own streaming service.
Yeah, they all move around. Yeah.
This is so annoying. There's going to be I'm going to get rid of cable only to have to acquire 15 streaming services for the same price.
Yeah, so we're going to go back to where we were.
It's annoying.
You just have to stream every channel now.
It's terrible. I'm
Or you just rotate around through them, right?
Let's go pirate internet and just
Yeah, I was
do
just going to
everything.
say, I
That's a
can
good
tell
idea,
you
too.
boys exactly what to do if you want to get off this carousel. I can tell you how. All you got to do is bounce a signal off mirror, and you get a special Russian decoding device at your home. And as long as you know the 58 encrypted key password, you're good to go.
Sounds fair. Wanye, if you were going to give Nuge some advice on the day of his wedding, what would it be?
You know, Nuge, it's a good one. I assume you're listening. You're going to get married. You're going to settle down with your lovely wife somewhere in Edmonton and probably somewhere else. And things are going to get hot one night, and you're going to end up having Junior Nuge. And Junior Nuge is going to be well raised by two nice parents, and one day, let's assume it's a he will start Tom Thumb. On that day, he's already older than you, and you are the second youngest player in the house. You got to nut up so you could defeat Junior Nuge, because that little bastard's probably going to have more facial hair by the age of 4 than you've accumulated by the age of 30.
I would love to know what a dude like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins thinks when he rolls into town in September. Now a married man looking at his 8th NHL coach. He's like, hey, man, what's going on?
You've got to think it's also very strange to be the Nuge and be like, so let me get this straight. You're the first pick overall in the entry draft. Correct. And you report to a perennially underachieving team like the Oilers. Yes. You receive 0 heat. Yes, not one bit. But the fans collectively decide that you're a baby. You'd be like, weird.
It is interesting how like Yakupov, all that heat, Taylor Hall, always getting heat.
Even my beloved Jordan took it on the chin.
And Nuge is just, everyone loves the Nuge. Like, I know that's the big joke going around and all that, but it is like cemented in truth that no one ever blames him for anything because it's never his fault.
Is it because we don't know anything about him? Is that part of that veil that prevents us?
No, because what allows us to critique, or what we use to critique players?
What do you love about the Nuge?
Well,
his contract?
His contract's great. The Nuge is so. Anyways, what fans use to as their sample size to be able to rip a player is their play on the ice, their compete level, their attitude of the ice, their body language, like, or what limited rumblings you hear in Edmonton nightlife that one guy's a dick or whatever. But like, you never hear anything bad about the Nuge. He is supremely charitable in the city. His play on the ice stands up.
Tell me about that. I don't know.
He's always doing that thing with the Oilers and the community schools too.
Yep, he's involved with the schools, but he's the head of the cystic fibrosis Edmonton chapter. So he puts on a big event for that, and he brings up some of his teammates, and they do like a hot stove, and he does that every year and raises a bunch of money for CF. And so these are all things, but he doesn't brag about it. He just does it.
Doesn't he even have social?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a Twitter account that hasn't been active since the Jesse Puljujärvi draft. Then he's also got an Instagram account that is private that he's not accepting me at. I'm still pending for 2 years now.
Ooh, I might try to slide in and see if I can beat you.
Good luck.
But anyways,
somebody's got to.
So, but like, and so like that's a lot of the story that people don't hear. But like, the Nuge shows up, man. The Nuge competes. He's an unreal hockey player. He puts up decent points and he plays a strong two-way game.
Yeah.
He gets dirty. He gets in the mix. He's got a fire in his belly. Like, there's nothing about his guy's game that you like. It's tough to poke holes. Like, yeah, sure, you wish you had 100 points, but he's not that guy. Like, for a guy that's making $6 million for the type of game he plays, he is of great value to us.
But it's interesting to me to compare him to Leon Draisaitl. And like, I love both players. And maybe it's the contract, like you guys said, but like, Leon Draisaitl isn't a guy. He rarely goes and like steamrolls someone with a body check. He's rarely first one in on the forecheck, and he doesn't really have to be, but he still is fast. But still, he gets like that. He gets knocked around a bit by a portion of the fan base for like never hustling and bad body language and all that. And Nugent-Hopkins, like in my head, never strikes me as like he never really lays out a massive body check. Like, him and Draisaitl, in my opinion, are like very, very similar. Draisaitl just has a little more offense where Nuge has more defense. But it's interesting how like Draisaitl will get chewed on by people, and Nugent-Hopkins, man, like deservedly so, but he's always in the clear.
Well, I don't want to come on. I'm just poking holes here about Draisaitl. But yeah, there's times where he makes faces and he looks like a grumpy bear and he looks disinterested and he doesn't come back on a back check and results in a goal, or he gives up on a play. Like, those little things, especially if they result in a bad outcome, like a goal against, like, fans are going to grab onto that. You don't see that level of, I guess, taking your foot off the pedal from the Nuge.
I would agree with that. You're just talking dirty to me right now.
Yeah. So like, is Draisaitl better than Nuge? Well, from a points basis, absolutely. In offensive upside basis, but like, Nuge is the type of guy you can win a championship with. You need a Nuge on your team.
Yeah. Have you seen the photos of Draisaitl and his dad when he's like 8? Ever seen that photo?
Does he look like grumpy and
yes, and then he's just like, ugh, and then the dad's like, ugh. I think it just might be the cockeyed Draisaitl way.
Oh yeah,
like the resting bitch face is on blast.
Well, you can tell when he's
even his smiles are dark.
Yeah,
you're like, ooh, a grumpy guy smiling because he's dating Celeste Desjardins.
Yeah, she's oof.
Who wouldn't be smiling?
Yeah.
Life of a pro athlete. Good for you, Leon. Good for you, Nuge.
I love Leon.
Yeah, so congrats, Nuge, on having a wife.
He's the longest serving Oiler now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not even like who's second on that list. Is there anyone that's even like
coming remotely close. Is it Clefbaum now?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Could be Clefbaum.
Yeah.
Weird.
Terrifying.
What a
That's
time.
super weird that Nuge is the longest serving Oiler.
And he's only what, 21? Like, that's fascinating.
He's 12 as far as I know.
16, 12. Yeah.
It's a good joke.
That's why we need him on the podcast.
Yaremchuk's deadpan, so when he drops jokes, I'm like, is the dude really? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, no. You just made me question myself.
What else we got in Oilers land?
Well,
I know you're very excited about Josh Archibald today.
Oh boy, can
Archie.
you believe it? The Josh Archibald came to our city
Well.
to ply his trade at ice hockey.
12 goals last year.
Yeah, 12.
That's actually not bad at all.
He's our new. So if he's the 12 goals that Toby Reeder was supposed to score for us last year, we are automatically going to the playoffs.
The story of him and Reeder is very comparable. In the teens for goals with Arizona, not qualified, brought over to Edmonton.
Tell me more about Josh Archibald. Yaremchuk.
Kills penalties, skates well by
How old
all
is he?
accounts. 26.
When was he drafted?
I don't know when he was drafted, if he was ever drafted. He's a Regina, Saskatchewan boy.
I love that.
Okay.
Salt of the
Check.
earth.
I just want to stop for a second. 6th round of the 2011 draft, 174th overall by the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Won a cup with the Penguins. I think he has a ring.
Walk me through this.
Who did he play junior
stats? Hit me this.
All right. He was a college guy
with? Of course.
at the University of Nebraska, Omaha.
Ooh, go Cornhuskers.
And then he a lot of time in the minors with the Penguins. Only played one game with the Penguins. His
Was that like
first season,
Wilkes Barre Scranton? Where's there?
2016. He played 10 games there, 4 in the playoffs. Got traded to Arizona.
So did he get a cup with Pittsburgh
Yeah, he did.
for playing one game?
He played 4 in the playoffs that year.
Yep, he had 4 playoff games that year.
Damn.
Just
You get a ring
squeezing.
for that, hey?
Oh yeah, 100%. If you're even on the roster, you don't even have to play a game. They give you a ring. They take care of you.
Just like former Oiler legend Nathan Walker.
There you go.
And then last year in Arizona, he played 68 games, 12 goals, 10 assists for 22 points.
Okay.
He is 5'10", 176 pounds, shoots right.
Where did he play as junior?
He was a college guy.
Yeah, but like before college.
Before college, he played for Brainerd High of the U.S. high school, whatever that is.
He was down in
8
the
games,
States.
2 goals, drafted 170th overall.
Yeah, that last year in his high school, his draft year, he got 27 goals and 46 assists in 25 games. So 73 points in 25 games. Hell yeah.
So they have effectively gone out and gotten another kick at the cat of a Toby Reeder.
Well, now you're looking at their bottom 6, right? Just to get nerdy with you for a second.
Hit me.
You're looking at Lucic is in the mix for that. And then you can go Kara, Gagne, Archibald, Josh Curry, Tyler Benson, Cooper Marody, Kyle Brodziak. There's like
Colby
12 names.
Cave.
Colby Cave is number 9. Gaetan Haas, Joachim Nygaard. Like, there's only 6 if you count the 2 extra forwards. There's only 8 jobs that can go around. And there's a lot of hockey players kind of fighting for
That's
those
what Kenny
jobs.
Holland does. That's
It
what
is.
you told me.
And that's what Dave Tippett likes kind of on his teams as well. Like the one year when Dave Tippett had a 50-win Arizona team, his best player was Shane Doan with 55 points. Right?
So you're telling me he's going to make Connor stop at 55?
Well, I think that might be what
Okay, we've had enough. That's good. Stop.
I think Tippett, that he's comfortable with kind of a lot of really good role players, and that's what he had success with in Arizona, and getting all these role players who know how to buy into a system. I think Ken Holland might be building that identical team and then just going, okay, Dave, here are all these pieces you like on 3 lines. By the way, instead of your top line being Shane Doan and Reddy Verbata, it's Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. So like you give the guy who's driven an old reliable vehicle for 10 years, you go, you can keep your old reliable vehicle, but by the way, here's this Maserati.
We're going to weld a different back half onto your car.
Yeah.
So the back half is a Lambo and the front's an Accord. Oh, that's nice. Oh, you driving down the street in that thing, getting the gas mileage of an Accord with the trunk space of a Lambo?
Oh, that's living.
I don't know if I
Space
want
of
to
a
watch this
Lambo.
team.
Well, the thing I like about Archibald is he's fast and he competes. That's all I care about.
Fast, competes, kills penalties.
And
can
he's
score you
a
10 to
bona fide
15.
NHLer.
So there you go. Like that's the perfect blend for a bottom 6 guy. Offensive upside, can score you 10 to 15 goals. Can he kill penalties? Yep. Hits like you said, Jake. Competes like you said.
If he scores
Makes sense.
10 goals next year, I'm happy.
Yeah, fine.
And
Great.
it's on $1 million deal. So if
1
they,
year deal, 10 goals. That'd be amazing.
and if they want to bury him in the minors, it costs them nothing against the cap. So they're all good.
Yeah, no, it's safe bet. Now, I'm just hoping we're not done yet. I'm still hoping this looming, gigantic Luch trade is still happening. What have you heard? Have you heard any rumblings about that lately?
Well, there's just rumors going around that it's that bonus. And Jason Gregor, our very own Jason Gregor, reported that the bonus was paid on July 1st. This whole on the 17th thing is hogwash. I've heard from a few different people that it might not be hogwash and that there is this kind of thing with backdoor money between Neil, or not backdoor, like the away from the salary cap money, the salary, not the cap hit. It differentiates, and there's something to do with it tomorrow. So I heard that if it's going to happen, it's happening tomorrow.
I love how Oilers fans are like debating when Milan Lucic's bonus is paid in Carolina. They're like, we're going to need you guys to like bring a basketball hoop on the ice and dunk on it because no one gives a shit about hockey. And here we're like, I don't know. Milan Lucic's buyout might in fact be on the 17th of July.
I don't think it's going to happen, but if it's going to happen, it's tomorrow. That's kind of the path I've been led down, but I don't know.
Everyone pray to the hockey gods.
Why wouldn't they want to pay out his bonus and then the next day now his value is much more for a trade?
That's what it would be, because his bonus comes out tomorrow, like as soon as it hits midnight type of thing. Like the bonus can be paid and then you can deal
What's
with
he getting?
no bonus.
$3 million. Nice little deposit.
So for some owners and the owners in Calgary, we know what they're like with their current rink situation and all that. They might be sitting there because over the course of the contract, it's at $250,000 less per year as a cap hit for James Neal, but he's owed something like an extra $8 million over the course of that deal. He's coming off a bad year. The ownership in Calgary might just sit there and go, you know what? Our fan base doesn't like James Neal. We could probably sell them on big, rugged, tough Milan Lucic, and it's going to save us $8 million.
And then does James Neal come here and just become our new Toby Reader?
No, he comes
James
here.
Neal comes up
way
here
next
and
year.
he sets up, and Connor sets him up for clappers for days.
Yes. Clappers, top cheddar.
He
Always top
He has a
cheddar.
better
Top
chance.
cheddar clapper.
Yeah, Neil has a better chance in Edmonton than he does in Calgary, and we can leverage Neil properly here.
Set up on the half boards on the power play. Con will find you.
Top
You will
cheddar
fill
clapper.
the net.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah, like James Neal, he's played, I want to say, in like close to 10 NHL seasons. He started in 08-09, so it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 12 NHL seasons. You want to know how many times he hasn't scored 20 goals? Once. It was last year with Calgary. Like, to think that guy's going to bounce back, I would say it's almost a lock.
It's
Then why the hell would they want Milan Lucic for?
That's what I don't understand.
Because they got pushed around in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They got pushed around in the playoffs.
We got pushed around the playoffs,
which is
Baggedmilk.
weird because they let Garnet Hathaway go, which would be kind of counterintuitive to that kind of line of thought. But they can get the big guy. It's wishful thinking, but if that happened, that would be unreal.
There was like
fantastic.
There was like a weird rumor floating around. This is sort of connected to it is connected to Calgary. It was about a month ago that there would be some Gaudreau for Taylor Hall swap coming up.
Yeah, right.
That like Gaudreau really wants to go back, play in the States. Taylor Hall's a free agent. And Calgary, again, worried that they get pushed around and that they're too small, would like be chomping at the bit to make that deal. Can you imagine being an Oilers fan and watching a team in Calgary that features Talbot, Lucic, and Hall?
I don't need trade rumors to be
fuel.
true for them to entertain.
No, they're
too.
probably
I just like when you say it, like, oh, can you imagine what a loser
Well, I
Hall
get
is?
so
Oh my God.
excited though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know,
get,
but that's good. It's
but I
the
get
fan
so
fiction that I like.
I know, and then it doesn't happen. You're like, fuck.
Oh, I just like contemplating the outcome. Like, can you imagine Hall, the Battle of Alberta, or in that damn sea with the flame on it? I don't need to come true for it to be interesting. Is Eklund still big?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you still pumping out
He
crap?
thinks he's big.
Well, but there was the one year he was on trade deadline show.
Yeah, but he's
everywhere.
Yeah, he's O for lifetime. I think on any of his predictions.
Hey, man, I give him credit, though, for making a business out of it.
Oh yeah. People
Just throwing
don't
shit at the walls.
I think he gets it. It's
Yeah,
like
man.
Jerry Springer being fake. Like Eklund understands that people just want to contemplate Hall for Gaudreau.
Yeah, and who was on TV for 20 plus years? Jerry Springer with that
Yeah.
fake ass shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Amen.
Yeah, Eklund is still at it. He says his most recent work, Braden Point, could be moved. Detroit, Montreal, and ... hockeybuzz.com. And then he ends it there. He like teases you.
Oh, he had me.
Remember how he had his phone number in his bio?
I think he still does.
You ever phoned that Yaremchuk?
Yep, feel free, call or text my cell. You want to get him on? How funny would that be if we cold called? When we get the new fancy board in, we'll cold call
Cold
Eklund.
call Eklund, that'd be sweet. I
Hey,
remember
are we
when he
going to
was
start
cruising
pranking
around.
people if we get a cold?
We should definitely prank people and take calls in. Just live calls. Who knows what's going to happen? Get
We'll
weirdos in the mix.
record it during Stoffer's show and call into Stoffer's show live on real life.
We should get the
how we
voice
get
AI
guests.
activated and like put like 2,000 episodes of Stauffer Show through and then call into Stauffer Show as Stauffer.
Oh yeah.
Like you can get pretty awesome like mimicking of voices now, right? Where you like type in stuff and then they'll say it in the guy's voice if there's enough audio around of them.
Well, and Baggedmilk and I listen to Howard Stern, and we've heard millions and millions of different types of prank calls.
Yeah, just chop those up and put them on a soundboard.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones.
You don't see many people volunteering their phone number on Twitter. He must get so. Why would he do that? It can't be his real number.
Can't be.
He has to have like a secondary phone for it. But is it not like just knowing what Twitter is like? How is that phone not just a constant shit show of people texting me like you're a fucking moron?
Yeah, that Neil trade to Tampa Bay never came through. You piece of shit. I assume is most of his texts.
Maybe that's what he's into. Just getting belittled via text.
It's probably just a bat phone that he has to sit on the table that he never checks.
If there's code you can write so that just by calling your phone, you don't even need to answer. I can take over your phone. So I could
That's
like
terrifying.
go through your search history.
Oh,
could,
no.
Like, ghost your passwords for everything you sign into and all that kind of shit.
I'd like to know Eklund's search history.
Is Eklund smart enough to know that if he puts a phone number up on there and writes a similar script, everyone phoning Eklund, he could take over their phones?
He's mining all of Twitter's data right now.
He's got a giant identity theft pyramid scheme going.
He tweeted on July 4th, "No day off, ... New blog after I received a text, ... Killer Marner offer sheet coming, 1 year, 13 mil, hockeybuzz.com.
Unbelievable.
Nice.
It must be freeing to just write whatever you want.
Yeah, man, it's fiction.
Taylor Hall offered 14-year contract by the New York Islanders.
That's
More
a
to
guy.
follow? Question mark. Hockey Buzz.
I would love to get Truth Serum and have him on a podcast and be like, all right, man, what's going on here? Like, do you actually have people who text you and all those people just bullshit with you and like fuck with you because they think it's funny? Do you actually think you're breaking news? Or in his head, did he actually do this as like a business thing? He's like, I'm just going to start wild ass hockey rumors.
Eklund makes money.
Oh, yeah.
And he has 30 writers writing about shit.
He didn't wear those Google Glass for free, man.
What's that?
You remember Google Glass? Like
Do I remember Google Glass? I was a glass hole.
there was like I don't know, he was at one of the drafts or whatever, and this is when nobody knew what Eklund looked like, and then a bunch of pictures came out of him cruising around at the draft wearing Google Glass.
Oh my God, that's sick.
Yeah, they didn't get those for free, man. Those page views paid for them Google Glass.
One time I saw this video of a guy or I think it was a blog post of a guy in a subway. Larry Page came and sat down in the subway and he was wearing Google Glass in the beginning. And the guy looked at him and goes, "Are you Larry Page?" And he said, "Yeah." He goes, "Are those Google Glasses?" And he went, "Yeah." And he said, "What's it like?" He said, "It's the future." And he got off the fucking subway. That's how I imagine Eklund.
Man, that's a story for your day. Setting yourself up.
Eklund has to get it. He's like, you know what I figured out is that I had some people in the know. This is what I would bet. He had some people in the know. Then he started being like always bugging them for the shit. And they were like, no more. And then he got like some weirdos who were like one concentric ring out, like the Trina Zoils of the world. And then he realized that it didn't actually matter if he was ever right.
People read it no matter what because they get excited by rumors, not by news.
He's like a weatherman. If he gets it right, great.
Would you
Not,
just say
who cares?
people get excited by rumors, not by news?
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that?
I
Journalism school?
Well, we just kind of talked about how that was happening because we're excited about the fan fiction.
Yeah, like I just
sport.
kind of spit that out. That was kind of the recap of our little conversation. People love to hear the Jesse Puljujarvi trade talk will be infinitely more exciting than when the trade happens. When the trade happens and it's the Oilers trade Jesse Puljujarvi for
Who? Yaremchuk.
insert B-level prospect here, it'll just be like, all right, well, let's see how it is.
Yeah.
I like that. People get excited by rumors, not by news.
We
Can
should
I-
start telling nothing but lies.
Remember when I thought that Sam Gagner was going to be the captain of the team?
Well, we were told that you were on the right scent. It's just,
Hey,
they hired Eakins and he changed everything because he had a cycling buddy.
yeah. I know for a fact, not really, but I know pretty damn well that Horkoff on the way out named the captain as is tradition, named Sam Gagner. It was overturned. Point being, people got excited by the rumor, not by the news. That's barely 12 years later, and Twitter barely brings it up. Fuck.
I love that they still bring that up.
I embrace it.
It's the
Oh, you have to.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay. I wanted to share this with you. Every player on the Blues is getting their day with the cup and all that. Ken Campbell, resident old guy at the Hockey News, tweeted this. I'm sure the next guy from the St. Louis Blues who gets the Stanley Cup will be thrilled that Robbie Fabry's dogs were eating spaghetti and meatballs out of it on Monday. It amazes how the NHL allows and condones players treating the cup like it's a dog bowl. He was getting roasted in the mentions and followed it up with, it deserves to be touched and admired and hugged and have the names traced by people's fingers. But I'm not crazy about kids shitting in it, dogs eating spaghetti out of it, and girlfriends peeing in it. Is that not the weirdest?
Are girls
shit?
peeing in the cup? I drank out of it.
That's a reach. That's
Legit,
a
I
reach.
did beg.
But this guy is like super mad because like of the gross stuff that's going on with
So
the
now
cup.
hold on. I'm sure, because we were very fortunate. We got to see the cup this year, Bagmo. Very exciting.
I got
Not
to
allowed
put
to
it
talk about it.
No.
We'll talk about it a little bit for
Yeah.
the purposes of this conversation.
I got to put on a ring. It was dope.
That guy that is with the cup surely disinfects it.
Well, of
that's
course,
what I'm
that
saying.
thing
You just
gets.
So you're not eating out of a...
No.
But
And it's
no
not-
one's letting their girlfriend pee in the
The
cup,
only
are they?
people that are affected by that are the people at that party that have to eat after the dog. And who really cares?
Even if there is a hell of a fetish play, you know?
Just
Just wash that thing out. It's not made of canvas.
I had the fortunate opportunity to eat oodle noodle out of the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
Yeah.
We filled that thing up with 2 boxes of Mongolian and went to town.
And did you just eat it with your face? Like a dog?
Well, I wanted to, but I used chopsticks.
Because you're a gentleman.
But anyways, I thought that was
Probably.
like the weirdest old man.
Yeah, that's an old man yells at cloud take if I've ever heard one. Like, who fucking cares? Like, I've heard, I guarantee you way worse has happened, and it's still not even that bad. That thing gets cleaned and treated like gold.
Yeah.
When
That guy,
it goes to bed at midnight, it goes through its little cleansing phase and disinfectant
He's
phase.
probably pouring bleach in that thing every time someone gets it.
It was funny though that night though where we all drank from the cup. There's like 70 of us. That like the next day everyone kind of like had a sore throat. And, like
Yeah, man.
was getting
Why
kind of because one person was sick and 70 other people
It was
caught
amazing. It was like drinking electricity.
I'll tell you one thing, though. If I ever get the chance, you know Frank's going up in the bowl. Frank will look great in that thing.
Absolutely.
He'd be adorable. Speaking of looking great, Yaremchuk, you know what make you look great? A brand new suit from our friends at Indochino.
Bravo.
What you need to do is you need to head on to any of their showrooms that are around North America or go to Indochino.com. Get yourself measured up. Get yourself a suit that you like. Customize that baby. And within 2 to 3 weeks, you will have a wrinkle-free suit right out of the box delivered to your door. Jay had it happen. Chris, the former intern, had it happen. It is an experience you will not forget.
Hook me up.
Well, you're in luck. You can go down there, and for the low, low price of whatever they charge, you can buy one. Absolutely free, except for the price of what they charge. And your time. So what you need to do is you need to go to Indochino.com, get the process started, choose your style, customize your suit, get measured up online, and store those measurements in their website for the next time you need a suit. And then you can buy another one. It's 2 suits for the price of 2. Go ahead.
We just talking about the free component. We just sent a buddy of ours down. He's like, and he was blown away with actually how affordable it was. So
What's
he
your
went and got
excuse now, Tyler?
Yeah, good
I
value.
don't have one. I need more places to wear a suit.
You can just wear one here if you want.
That's a good point.
It'd be nice.
Although it's hot in here.
It is very hot here. Head on down to Indochino.com. Get the process started today. Get yourself a new suit. Upgrade your wardrobe. The people around you will appreciate it.
Bring the conversation back to me. Do you remember what I got right about the Oilers? That was such a scoop on the mainstream media. That Robin Bradley phoned me probably 40 times in an hour. And I just sat there in my old house having a beer and laughing. Do you remember that, Baggedmilk?
Absolutely, I do.
What did I say?
I don't remember.
I said that Comrie was coming back to Edmonton.
Oh, yeah, you did. You did.
And I even
remember
knew his
that.
term. And it was when it was insane. Like, there was no rumblings about him coming back. There was no rumors he wanted to come back.
right on left
Everybody
field.
hated Comrie. Your old pal Wanye broke the news. Bradley, who's legitimately friends with Comrie, wanted to kill me, but he didn't. And then I looked to back it up with my breaking news on Gagne. No one remembers the Comrie news. They just remember what you got wrong.
I'll tell the people your story, Wanye.
Thank you.
Mike Comrie, round 2. He nailed it.
Respect Mike Comrie coming back, man.
I remember everybody getting fired up because he got in a scrap in a preseason game.
He
and everybody's
Scored
back
and
on
then got in a
Comrie train.
fight.
He had no need to come back to Edmonton and face down all of his demons. And he did. And I respect it.
Yeah, man.
He probably wanted to come back.
He did. He said. He's like, I didn't like how it ended.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
I hope he got in on that stuff by Duff money.
Oh, yeah, he's all right.
Nice.
She's all right, and he's all right, and their kid's all right, and everybody in that whole situation, they're all right.
Yeah, they're all
That's all right. You boys watching Big Brother this summer or what?
That's all I got in the summer.
That's all I got ever.
That and Lucic's trade rumors.
The odd Sam Gagne captain rumor.
Big
Imagine he was named captain before we get into Big Brother. Imagine for some reason Connor McDavid woke up one morning and said, for the next one game, I am not the captain of the team. I'm giving it to Sam Gagner for reasons only I know. Would I then have been correct?
That would have been sweet.
But would I technically have been correct then by saying he was going to come back?
Absolutely.
Or would that be a different captaincy?
Absolutely.
Has the ship sailed on me ever having any redemption on this?
What if he gets an A? I feel like you get half marks.
Yeah.
There's a real chance. No, maybe not.
Does Twitter give out half marks?
They should.
The bastards. They won't.
Probably not.
You know what? Who cares? You took a shot and you shot it. And hey, it didn't go in, but it was an educated shot, and who gives a shit?
Remember Tyler Yaremchuk? Remember that guy?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, he had a thing one time. He told me people are excited by rumors, not by news. I think he's onto something.
That's what I'm titling the episode, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I wrote
marketer.
it down on a piece of paper. Wrote T. Yaremchuk.
Right here.
It's a good quote.
But it's the same thing. Like I started tweeting about the Oilers' potential or the leaked Oilers third jersey that I saw and all that. People are going to be way more excited at the thought of that maybe being the Oilers' third jersey than they will be when the Oilers' third jersey drops.
Yeah, watching them get mad was fun.
It was great.
Yeah.
Encouraging that type of echo chamber of rumor and excitement. That's our jobs.
Yeah. It's trolling in a way. But that's okay.
Mild trolling.
Mild.
Adorable trolling. Like we're popular in the late 90s.
The cottage cheese of trolling. Delightful.
Big
So
Brother,
me.
US, season 21.
Kind of a shit cast.
Oh, that's what they say the first episodes every year.
Yeah.
Well, because we're still at the stage of the who is this person stage of the show.
Yeah, I see you've got the cast up, so you can nail the names. I have to do the same because I know who everyone is, but I'm horrific with names.
Yes, I know their faces and their plot lines.
Yeah.
Things that are entertaining. Let's just spitball them and then just go around.
Here's what I think, first of all. If you're going to bring in an old guy.
Who, Cliff?
Yeah, Cliff. It's got to be like,
Cliffomaniacs, or what does he call his fans?
how about that guy just burning his own bridge?
Oh,
doing it
that
in the
was so
worst possible
depressing.
way? But like, if you're going to bring in an old guy, why not bring in like 3? Because the old guy always gets punted like super early. He's on the block.
Not Evil
again.
Dick.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Evil Dick stuck it out till the end.
He could win comps, though. It seems like all the old guys they've been bringing in lately are just like
Schlubs.
round, chubby dads, right? Like, meh.
But like, yeah. Like you want to love him because he seems like such a lovable guy.
Yes.
And like,
And he's rich. The other thing, too.
he's a petroleum engineer.
Yeah, a global petroleum engineer. He's like, oh, I was just in the Oman working on. Cliff ain't there for no $100,000 prize. Cliff's
Yeah,
there.
but he wants to win it. His idea of competing is forming an alliance with a guy who's outside of the game.
Yeah. Well, how about the guy? So how about that guy? While we're laughing at people, that's AJ, RJ, what's his name?
Obi.
Ovi,
Obi Trice.
has that power from the weird challenge and still gets sent to the banishment camp. Has a power to take himself.
But he couldn't use it.
Why not?
Because it was past, because he got backdoored. So he has to use it before the veto ceremony, and so it happened after, so he couldn't use
his power to get off the block?
No, he couldn't
I was
use
like,
it.
what kind
Yeah.
of idiot has this freaky power? But it's interesting how far from the normal plot line of Big Brother this season is.
Yeah, they try to
Having
mix
like
it
a
up.
banishment camp and having all these weird powers being dealt out like cards at an Uno tournament.
Oh, Cliff Hog the Third.
Trust me.
He's
He's got a
53.
third on there.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what else is funny? It is funny. What's the...
I also find it funny that her name's Isabella, just completely turncoating on her alliances and just
Flopping
immediately.
back and forth?
She is.
and saying she can't keep her mouth shut?
She can't
Hilarious.
stop telling everyone everything to everyone. Like
Everything.
She's gonna yeah. So I like the spin here that they're trying to flip it so they go against the Grateful. And what about when Jason Momoa, Sam,
Oh, that guy's a goof.
blew up
He's getting a lot of
Grateful?
mileage.
Because I love the trucker. The trucker is
Trucker guy,
he
he's my
brings
favorite
high
dude.
energy, lovable guy. They've made him the
Sad
ninth.
his grandpa died.
Sam
Very
Smith.
sad.
Oh man, that's the
depressing.
worst way ever to find that news out. By the way,
Oh yeah.
but like the thing that I could think about like is a dark thought. But like he goes in there, they hand him the envelope. I'm like, oh shit, this is bad news. But you know, there was a producer that's like, this shit's got to be on camera for sure.
Oh yeah, they're like that. Ratings
sorry, go ahead.
gold. Where like poor trucker, Sam, right?
Sam.
Yeah, so
Sam Smith.
And
Not that
Bella's
Sam
like, "There's 8 and you're the 9th." Breaks it to him, which pisses him off, and he's keeping it quiet, which I like because he's gonna try to ninja this. And then he goes to talk to Jack, and Jack breaks out the Grateful. I gotta do what's the best for Grateful. I mean, and slips up for him like 5 seconds later.
What a dummy.
And then you got Mickey.
I do not enjoy this guy. I'll tell you 20 reasons why.
Mickey is He's not good at this game.
Did you have to put in a piece of gum mid podcast?
I like to do things. I
Valid, Yaremchuk.
didn't even realize I did it. This is why we got to video this shit. Anyways,
Fat chance of that. Me and Baggedmilk are ghosts.
Mickey is so neurotic. He is not good at this game. He's overplaying it.
Yeah, he's really overplaying it.
He does the thing with the vote and then tells someone about it, which is a no-no. You want to keep the chaos going. But then he's trying to cover up his tracks and he's overcompensating and everyone around
I was
him.
actually really proud in that clip. What's the guy with the beard?
Yeah, Bella's boy. Nick.
He looks like McDavid.
I don't know.
Does he not look like a Connor McDavid that just met bad friends in high school?
Well,
and
he
stopped
has
playing
really
hockey?
bad. He's like a bowl cut.
Someone's got to
he
do
got bad
something
haircut.
about them bangs.
But when they left and Mickey was doing his big speech about how that girl Nicole had probably done the weird vote and all this reasoning why, I was like, man, people always fall for this shit. And then he leaves the room. That Nick guy immediately is like, that guy did it for sure.
Yeah.
Shit. I respected him.
Yeah.
I respect that guy, Nick. He might actually go a long way.
Now, I have to take things back to the beginning of the season with Christy, who's the girl from Staten Island, who's
She knows
I
that
like
other
her.
guy.
who's connected to the Broadway dancer.
Tommy Brocco.
Yeah.
But so in her like opening like speech or whatever, and they do like the little bio, she says she just got out of a relationship with a much older woman. And somehow this much older woman is family
Related
to
Tommy.
Is it his mom?
I cannot wait to hear what the hell the connection is and how much older this lady is.
Probably like his aunt.
I hope it's his mom. That'd be dope.
Oh yeah, but like,
So
but
funny.
they're broing down really hard.
Yeah.
They are.
Those two, like they are. Well, they've been quoted as a couple.
They're
but
keeping it kind of like that secret, though. They're keeping that pretty well.
They have, yeah.
Well, no, because now they're being outed as a couple.
That's true, but like,
But
No
like,
one knows
how is
why.
this
Oh,
is
they're
where-
outing their connection.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times Big Brother is a lot more staged than it looks like. In this instant, but in this instance, I don't think that they actually knew. It would be so difficult for Big Brother to like map the I suppose you could use Facebook, but like who knows who in the zoo? It would almost be impossible for them to figure out that Christy and that Tommy know each other.
They knew.
The show didn't know.
The show knew.
The show knew.
The show knew. Yeah. Julie said that like you'll find out that some people actually know each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, the show
Can
knew.
use social media.
Yeah.
Annalise, very disappointing. At first, I was like, soccer star. She's gonna kick some ass in some comps.
She party though.
Oh yeah.
Give her time. Give her time. Yeah, she's quiet. She's getting who she's hooking up with Aquaman, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
so-
all sort of squared off pretty fast. this
Well,
season.
I know, and Aquaman, he's trying to be too much of an alpha and trying to push
I don't enjoy man.
the agenda too much.
I find him
That's yeah. It's,
He looks like R. Kelly.
I find him annoying too.
When he has his hair
That's
back,
what he looks like.
He
I've
looks
been
like R.
trying to-
Kelly, man.
Oh.
When he has his hair in a bun and he's being filmed face on the diary room, he looks like R. Kelly.
I can see it. It's the eyes and nose, like that combination.
And he has like
squished
he
together.
almost had cornrows one episode.
yeah.
Catherine Dunn, the lady from Texas, the blonde lady,
Oh
I
god.
hate her.
she blew up on social media because she has a boyfriend outside the house, and they had like videos of her like being like, "Goodbye, honey. I'm going in the house. I love you so much." Da 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 da. And then like 6 days later, she's in the bed with Mickey.
Oh jeez. And then gives they brought those former Big Brother stars back for like Swaggy C and
Oh,
whatnot.
Tyler. Yeah, they brought back Tyler.
Swaggy
And she
P
was
they
like,
brought back.
Tyler and they're the two bros. It's
Brett.
Brett.
Brett, yeah.
And she's like, Brett, call me.
Yeah. Yeah.
her boyfriend's just like, what the living
Oh
fuck?
yeah, they had him like this. People on social media are animals, but they had like DMs. Somebody DM'd this dude in Dallas and tracked him down. Like, what do you think of all this? He's like, oh, blah blah blah. It's very hurtful. Blah, blah. And then the guy's like publishing the DMs and they're catching off with the stands. Whew.
Damn.
I really hope Bella and what the hell's his name? What's her boyfriend? Nick. I hope they flip. I hope they flip.
My boy in the
They
show.
have a chance. There's like I'm not really. They have the power. I hope they try to take a shot.
Why not? I'm always a fan of taking
Like
shots.
I know
on that.
they're ungrateful right now. I hope they take the shot.
I find that they're still in the very polite phase of the show. The first 2, 3, 4.
I know,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you gotta
it hasn't-
get
You don't know
rid
who
of
anyone
those
is,
two.
too.
You gotta get rid of one of them. So going around the table?
Let me go first.
Favorite character?
Yeah. My
Favorite
boy,
character? Who you think's gonna win?
both. I always want my favorites to win. That's why I'm an Oilers fan.
Fair.
Tommy is my boy.
Oh,
I love his catchphrases. I love how he's like, "That's not how my mother raised me," and then like runs out of the
everything's
room.
a Broadway show
Yeah.
and he's leaping.
Yeah, he's
but
amazing.
everything's just like choreographed.
He's a
So
poet.
his social game is going to take him extremely far.
Everyone likes him.
Everyone likes him. I just don't know if he's got the game in him. We'll see.
He can float. Floaters go a long way.
He's going to go a long way because everyone loves him and he doesn't create any ripples.
No.
But he has been somewhat generated a target slightly because he's been now paired with someone.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, they're saying that him and Staten Island girl
Christy.
Are what, a couple?
Well, like they're connected.
Oh, I see.
People are like, yeah, there's
I
four
hate to
couples
tell you
in
this.
the house.
Tommy ain't doing this for the gals. If you catch my drift.
Oh yeah.
I love though, like when it comes time for Tommy when he's on the block and it's
Mm-hmm.
going to time for an impassioned speech. 200 years of history of Broadway will flow through him.
Gee,
and
it's just
gonna
muscle
be
memory.
It's going to be amazing.
Oh, it's gonna nail it.
The
Yeah, they'll
tears
probably
are
do a
going to
backflip.
stream.
But when he was like the hissing Beatles, and he was just batting them away.
Oh, yeah.
I like some of those gross out competitions. The stinking one, that was cool.
I could have handled the stink, but the snake one, holy shit.
Even though I don't like Mickey, he was a boss dealing with those snakes.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't scared of anything.
My guy, and I'm going to steal it before Jay does, is Sam.
Yeah, me too.
From the moment I saw him do that thing, his bio video where he's like, I got this tribal tattoo on my arm because I hang it out the truck window.
Yeah.
I just like, oh, he's my boy. This guy is my guy. He is shot out of a cannon.
He's got it. So he's got good social game too, and he wants to play game, but he's on the outside looking in of Grateful. So he's just gotta. But I think he's not leaking information. He's going around and he's listening and he's assembling information. So I actually do think he has a shot.
Yeah, I think he's actually like wicked smart too. I think there's more to his brain than he's letting on with this whole I just drive trucks all the time. My sleeper pick though, David. Comes back from the camp.
Oh, I was just about to rip him.
I think there's
He is dry multi-grain toast.
I think that's an angle that like the producers of the show would love though. Like back from the camp, whatever, all that, and pushing him through a little bit. I think we could see him. I think we could see him go pretty far.
He's just boring.
He is.
Oh, whoa. Fun facts about yourself off the website. I went to school with the mega rap group Migos.
Who?
David.
What?
Well, you'd
Went
think
to
he'd be a
school?
lot
That's
cooler if he
staggering,
did.
yeah.
Well, he is a lot cooler if he is.
Maybe they weren't
Well, I mean, he
friends.
went to school with
I
Migos. He
went
didn't
to
hang out with
school
Migos.
with the mega rap group Migos.
He didn't
Yeah, wait,
hang
but the
out with Migos.
three aren't they all different ages, Migos?
Yeah, they're cousins though. So you can
I
have
thought
grade
one was an
9, grade
uncle.
5, grade.
I thought one was uncle.
You're thinking of LMFAO.
I'm thinking of LMFAO too, but I thought one of the Migos was maybe not. They're all
I'm not
cousins.
shuffling every day
Okay.
anymore, Tyler.
Well, you guys have
All right.
really cornered me, and it's slim pickings
Migos?
on Migos. On which Migos cousin
I just copied
pick.
Bagged Milk. I said Sam's gonna win too.
Well, Sam is definitely my favorite,
He's
and
my
I
guy.
think he's got a chance. But I've got a soft spot for Nicole.
I can see that. Why not?
It's in, yeah. Like she was also with Cliff doing the alliance, and it's also been called out because Cliff did his little Cliff
That was
notes
as
in the
dumb
morning.
as you could be.
Oh god, I've got this, and he's walking around with the out. But you gotta love Cliff. But I think people like her. She's not. I thought she'd be more like neurotic in the sense of like she is anxious about her position, but she's not too crazy about it. So she doesn't create too many waves. So I can see her going far. I like Nicole.
Doesn't this picture of Mickey that's on the Big Brother website make him look like a ventriloquist dummy? He's got a very,
It's a very strange jawline.
I struggle with Mickey because he's just so high on himself, and he thinks he knows the game better. He thinks he's smarter than everyone, but like when you watch him, how he executes, and now he's like tries to communicate with people. Like he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna break the when he broke up with the Texan girl.
He talks in cliches and catchphrases.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, like you're a real gamer here. Like no.
Yeah, it was very weird. Do we have
Before
any
we-
final thoughts
before
on
we
Big
wrap
Brother?
this up, I want to get, because you're quite right on Migos. Yaremchuk, I'm very impressed with you today.
Thank you.
So Migos, Offset and Quavo are cousins, and Takeoff is Quavo's nephew.
There you go.
They were all raised together by Takeoff's mother, Quavo's older sister. But they're 27, 23, and 23.
Okay, so one is but it is close in age. So I see how that could get a little confusing.
27, 27, and 23. Sorry, there's two
Yeah.
old ones and one younger.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Well,
makes
hey,
it
there you
makes a
go.
lot of sense.
Everything you wanted to know.
Go download Migos.
Yeah. Go download Migos. Go download Real Life, and maybe after you download Real Life, you'll go download Oilers Nation Radio as well. Let's make it a whole event. That's a whole day right there. Thanks for tuning in. Episode 130 of Nation Real Life is over.
Excuse me there. I just lost my train of thought.